Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking Bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make us free. My cup off and make them scream. Go back off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long, nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no lettuce. I got style, don't catch no feelings. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look.
Welcome everyone to the Esports Visualize official live stream for the Vanguard tournament season 1. I am your very tolerable, yes, handsome as well, very tolerable and handsome host Eon XZ. I'm joined here by my partner in crime, Empty, who I miss casting with. I'm not gonna lie. But either way, so back on topic. Today we are going to be seeing our very first upper bracket final. Yes, it's an upper bracket final. I'm sorry, I just had to make sure I got my facts straight. Between Supernova and Fallen Champions, now under the new identity of Eternal Reign. Honestly, I am a huge fan of the rebrand. No glaze. The icon looks great. The colors they use are a lot better. Props to Nori for providing such great visuals and making this rebrand possible. Anyway, what we're looking at here is a Bind, Fracture, Abyss, and Pearl ban, and we have a bit more of a so to speak traditional set of maps played here tonight. I know Lotus is very popular among a lot of teams. I know a lot of teams like to play Haven. It just seems to me that a lot of these teams love playing 3-site maps. And I mean, it's not the worst thing to like playing those maps or to like practicing those maps. However, it's the big 25, man. We need to see Abyss games. We need to see Fracture games again.
No. I don't need to see Fracture games, Zion.
We need to see Pearl games, but they instead opted for Split as the very last map. Now, as we get ready for this match, I hope everyone here is having a great night. Cannot wait to cast this matchup for y'all. These are two teams that I've loved watching so far this series, in this tournament. And I hope you guys will enjoy these next 2 to 3 maps with me and Empty. Do you have any words before we go into a short transition?
Not currently.
All right.
Kind of excited for FLC to play. Not gonna lie.
Okay. So stay tuned, everyone. We are going to start our match very shortly.
Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make us free. My cup off and make them scream. Go pop off for TMC. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long, nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no lettuce. I got style, don't catch no feelings.
Hello everyone, we are back. I forgot to mention during discussing map bans, I hope everyone's staying warm. I know a lot of states are currently experiencing some cold temperatures. And by a lot, I mean mine. I'm inside shivering, covered in a burrito blanket, trying to stay warm. I hope it's not the same for MT and Sora here. But either way, let's get straight into these agent picks. We see Slinko hovering over, or picking the Yoru actually, locking it in.
Ooh.
And it is worth mentioning, Eternal Reign have also gone through a bit of a roster shift. We now see the introduction of Kien's star player for Zenith, or former star player for Zenith, and I believe it's Mr. Nut. I don't remember if I think Mr. Nut was playing previously. I'm pretty sure it's just the swap with like putting Kien's into this roster. Either way, phenomenal player. Very excited to watch him play for this team. And ETR in general has been a very, an incredible force in this tournament. On the other side, though, Supernova have had a very good track record so far. I'm not sure if I've done my homework here, but this roster has definitely been run on several occasions on this map. The Jet Breach, it's kind of the bread and butter for a lot of teams. On the flip side, though, rather than an ISO Yoru comp, we see a Yoru Breach comp, swapping the dive duelist for a Yoru, who will be following up off of the Breach utility. Either way, though. Yep.
I am a little interested to see the difference between the Yoru and having the Ash. Wait, who did they replace for the Yoru?
Yeah.
Oh
Jet.
wait, no, they're running a solo Yoru. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's Yoru and Jet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think your execs can be a lot better when you got that Yoru versus the Jet there.
I know the teleport is very good for taking space, like a lot more, like to surprise the enemy a lot more readily. And speaking of taking space, we already have Slinko picking up one onto Nick 2K October with the trade right off the bat, and both duelists are down. We won't be seeing much follow-up of a Breach utility, save it be for a flash.
Yeah, that was an interesting fight. You just saw the whole defense pushing out, and now they're kind of rescinding, going back, and obviously the 4v4 is always advantage to the attackers, so they really have the map as their playground at the moment.
Especially on this map, very notoriously attacker-sided, and I'll say this every time I cast this map. Still, though, this is a very interesting angle from Mr. Nut. Super passive. Trustivo might spot the shoulder around the corner, Nut down to a measly 5 health, it seems. 9 health, as a matter of fact. Krusty, though, is going to continue to push forward as the rest of his team funnels onto the site. Cage for good measure. Making sure no space is taken too early on. Now we're in a 4-on-4 retake situation. Rewind already picking up the share. Flash coming through, and it is go time for the defense. Checking around the corner, making sure that that Graffiti is clear.
One
Kienz and
enemy
Kantario
remaining.
picking up one each. Kantario with a second and the third to close off the round, and we're already at 1-0 for Eternal Reign.
Yeah, great round there from the side of the defense. I mean, that retake was just so well loaded. I honestly thought that what's the name? I should not be forgetting my team names. I thought the attacker side would honestly have that round after Mr. Nut was hit down to almost 1 HP. But no, it was just really good, really coordinated detail from the side of Fanatical Radiance. And coming in this next, it's just a pretty default buy round for the side of Fanatical Radiance. I am interested to see any ideas from our attacker side here, though. Looks like they're maybe going for a C mid split here. And interestingly, it's a bit of a switch up from the defense, not pushing out this round. A fight possible towards B main. Judge is gonna back off. I'm working up garage. And it's a really slow round. I honestly maybe expected a fast push, but it looks like they're just gonna try and take ones with the classics, and I don't know if that's gonna go this way of the attacker side here. Nick 2K working up, preparing for the sentry. Looks like the hit might just be towards B.
It's really hard to isolate with these pistols.
Absolutely, right?
Really trying to defend on Krusty to find anything, but the fault line from Kantario keeping them back just enough. Nick 2K though still managing to slip through, making it all the way through garage. Slink around this corner might cause so much trouble though through the smoke. Has flash at the ready to pop out with Kienz.
Spike down.
Picking up one each. October though with the refrag. Slinko with one more on the site. Kantario with the engagement onto B. Loses that out onto Krusty. And just Mr. Nut with the marshal here. Picking off the final target.
Really nice try, but obviously I don't love the way they played that Eon. It was very slow, and that's not a way you can be playing when you have classics. Taking those ones, trying to contact up, you're just gonna get yourself killed.
It just seems to be a trend with a lot of these teams. Like instead of just funneling all together, you know, trying to get the round done as quickly as possible so you can get your second buy out. It just seems like they're really trying to play it like they have actual weapons. And I'm not sure what or why, but I mean, I can't really question the teams too much. Moving into this next though, we have more of a default from the attacking side who do indeed have rifles in hand. An appropriate play for a round like this, still though no space made. They do have quite a bit of time to work with. Krusty already with the engagement. Getting spammed out towards A. Slinko able to slip into sewer to hold a closer angle. The attack is still, I mean,
Very passive, yeah.
very paranoid as well. And Slinko just might slip the net here again, missing the timing onto Krusty. Mr. Nut though, able to crawl
Reveal himself.
left side. He will expose himself. The dart coming through, the fault line coming through. He is dead. He was dead.
It's Slinko, we're gonna get two.
Slinko picking up two. I just barely missed that. Still making up for Mr. Nuts.
Spike down
His
A.
positioning.
Last player
Rewind
standing.
in October picking up
just
one
up to Nick
each and
2K.
off to Nick 2K.
30 seconds
Slinko with the
left.
rifle in hand and Rewind with just the sheriff, making sure to hold for hell. Little do they know he did slip towards Graffiti. Slinko is still paranoid. He's all the way down long, and Rewind's still paranoid that he's on side,
remaining.
able to isolate onto Rewind, but the peek
Oh.
from Slinko is not good enough. Slinko
Yeah.
will land the headshot and grab the third.
That's a Slinko one round. He caught the Fanatical Radiance, or sorry, the attacking side with her pants down there, up in, excuse me, up in sewer. And I mean, again, you saw the really slow round. They were a little too cautious, if I may add, and that allowed Fanatical Radiance to take a lot of space, and also drag out some Utsil.
Cutting through.
Oh. You can't help but feel bad for the attack after taking through long so effectively. They just lose two for free. Nick2K already with the jump and dash through the fault line, not deterring him from getting that elimination. Slinko picking him up, DMG with the trade, and the Hunter's Fury coming through from C Long, trying to tag onto any of these players. Kentario might actually get caught around this corner. Bushi though
Spike down.
will fall,
C.
planting the spike. They know where Rewind is. I think they are aware of his position. No, DMG is just gonna run straight on
Last
through.
player
Mr. Nut
standing.
picking up one, but Rewind unfortunately missing the timing, falling to DMG. Spike will have to be planted here. The
Spike planted.
Rolling Thunder is available for DMG. And Mr. Nut has to try to catch these players one by one. If he taps the spike here, he's gonna get breach ulted and double faced. But he might be able to just narrowly avoid it. Actually opting to use the fault line. DMG will not be using the tools at his disposal at this time. Body shot will do the trick. And solve to October. And all October has is nothing. Just the rifle in hand. And the aim needs to be perfect. And the shot will secure him the round. No shock darts, no recon dart needed.
It's down to the silver diff there, really. October has, you know, sort of just been that player, I think, so far. And Mr. Not quite be able to land onto the Bulldog there. I am... yeah, I don't want to say it either,
Yeah, no, you don't have to. It's okay.
I am interested to see a bit more impact from Nick2K, though. He has not been great on these entries. I don't want it this year, but...
The money as well for both these sides is pretty abysmal.
Absolutely. Not perfectly managed eco. I'm surprised Fanatical Radiance is already down to the eco.
Eyes down.
But Nick2K,
Okay.
finding on the key ends, proving me wrong about the entries there.
Yeah, the wire gets placed down a little too late, managing to slip the net. Slinko though with the dimensional drift. Nick actually flicking to the invisible Yoru. It looks like he flicked straight onto his head there, even though he couldn't see him. Nick2K still on this site though, actually in Rewind's face, but the classic right click actually finding him.
Got it blocking vision.
And
And the Cosmic Divide consumed. Now they have to stall it out as much as possible. The speed coming
One enemy
through
remaining.
from Rewind. The half not
Last
quite secured,
player
but
standing.
Kentario good for one. Bushi with two though. And the bomb is slowly ticking away. And Rewind is good for the final find.
yeah, I
Fourth
don't...
round will be awarded.
Not sure how I felt about that Astro roll, but in the end, it works out for Rewind. Great play with the classic there, securing the gun and then just landing the kill onto Bushy.
I think that the placement was less than ideal, but at the same time it did accomplish what Eternal Rain were going for. You know, they wanted to isolate the spike. They wanted to section off the site, knowing that like all three of these players are sitting long, planting, like they had the spike planted in an open position for long. So with that in mind, I think the wall did its job, even if the Rolling Thunder did almost make that retake fail.
Absolutely, and something I do want to mention is sort of that ult economy between sides. I mean, if you look on the side of Fanatical Radiance, you've got 4 big ults and Cypher, which can also do some work. But then you come over to the attacking side, and you've got the Omen, the Jet, and your only real big ult to the Breach and Sova, and I think that allows like free rounds off some of the ults that Fanatical Radiance have. Gives them just another advantage within the game.
And what you mentioned about the ultimate management is honestly, I can't really argue with you there. The attack may have the upper hand, but at the same time,
This is another weird setup from the attack. They're all over the place, and they're not really going for these side hits. I think that's usually what really might favor this team, is doing these
honestly, all over the place isn't how I describe it. They have 4 towards A lobby. I think they're paranoid of Slinko walking through sewer again.
I think my main criticism might be they're getting the ideas too late and not acting fast enough.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think they're giving them a little too much respect.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, Fnatic Radiance is sort of retake favored comp. It's not gonna help you with this. You have to storm the site. You cannot let players get out alive. Otherwise, it's standing ahead. You're gonna go into this retake, and again, look at what they're doing.
Yeah, they mistimed the flash. Nix 2K gets completely blinded. Cypher cam will be cleared. What is that cam spot from Kienz? Will be removed. And Rolling Thunder is still available for the retake. Kantario has it primed and at the ready. Just waiting for the Q, waiting for his teammates to get in position. The stun onto Nick 2K is so good in his face. Is Rewind picking up one. Kienz and Mr. Nut with one each as well. And October as well falling to Rewind, and the cleanup is perfect. They do lose Slinko in the process, but the 5th round is theirs, and they will confidently take it.
Yep, and it's just like I said, Ian, it's the retake heavy comp versus the low post plant, and they're not getting these entry picks. They're letting the Cypher, whoever's really playing on site, just get away. And that's letting them, especially with the rolling ult economy that you have from the side of Fnatic Radiance, they're just getting steamrolled on these retakes. I think what you really need right now from the attacking side is either better hits or better team play around these post plants. Coming up in this match, early engagements from Nick 2K. Look at Kantario ready on with the stun. And I think it just might be a trap play out from Yoru and Breach here.
Slinko just picked October for free. Not a trade in sight. The stun as well, keeping them back, landing on Tabushi, but the peek is so good. The shots behind the wall are good for the find onto Slinko. Slinko will not go unpunished this time. Christy and Nick picking up one each. Mr. Nut with the refrag. Now we're in a one
value. And again, it's
exactly 2v3 situation in favor of the attack. I think that they can pull this off. They do have the Sova ultimate. Question is, can they isolate one here on this retake?
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. Fnatic Radiance didn't really play to the win condition of the retakes that round. And also to Mr. and Kienz. New addition to this roster.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Not gonna be faithful.
Oh wow!
Mr. finding 2, not finding the spray
Mr.
transfer
Not
though.
actually making it doable there, even though Kienz was early on. DMG though still a safe pair of hands for Supernova here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
just
so
tough
far
round.
on.
I mean, and I think if you're Kienz, your team's out of the tournament. You have to prove yourself as a player here. You have to, you know, show them I can do this, especially without the help of Zenith.
Okay, don't dunk on Zenith. I mean, I don't think.
I mean, they're out.
They are out. Yes, they are arguably respected members of the community, though.
I'm not gonna dog. I don't know. I'm not dogging on Zenith. I'm just saying, Kienz. You know, this is his prove yourself away from your team point. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's one way to think about it, honestly. I'm curious though. I mean, considering he was primarily on Duelist.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how he's gonna go on the Cypher. Trying to escape, and that is messy.
The peak from Nick working out for him. Unfortunately for Kantario, having to scurry away, losing his life in the process. And now we're at a standstill once again. 45 seconds on the clock. The rest of the team has to try to make some moves. Make some money moves at that.
Vision.
Nick 2K making sure to keep Garage under lock, at least from the attacking side.
30
Look at the
seconds
prep for
left.
this hit. Now it's gonna come through. Nick 2K taking the garage space, going out. Cypher cam misses. And again, it's gonna be Fnatic Radiance playing for the retake. However, without the breach this time, could be a lot more difficult.
The Hunter's Fury coming from the defense, Mr. Nut.
10 seconds left.
Finding only one
Spike
tag
planted.
onto the planter, Rewind falling,
Last
attempting
player standing.
a quick peek
But
into
Nick,
the retake, but Nick 2K picking up 2.
what a shutdown.
And And it's all to Mr. Nut, who will accidentally run into Krusty.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here now is they're getting picks on site, and that's not letting Fanatical Radiance get off these
Why are you
retakes.
calling them Fnatic Radiance? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
they're not fucking Fnatic Radiance. Oh my god, dude, I don't know any team names. Let me be so honest.
Honestly, I was holding my breath. I thought you were like memeing. I thought you were calling them Fnatic because like their comp is kind of.
Also, because
sort of
Fanatical Radiance is another team in the scene that I know, and I know their shit.
Oh,
honest.
I see. But yeah, they are, just for future reference, they are indeed the team Eternal Reign, who have you know, recently rebranded. Not sponsored, by the way.
I mean, if they're from the league, surely they're sponsored. It's crazy.
I mean, Slinko, though, at the same time, getting a forward position with the share, forced to teleport out. The drone does get wasted, which is good for the defense. It allows Kantaro to get in this corner. He nearly finds Krusty, but Nick with the cover. And Rewind holding this aggressive position, and Garage nearly gets caught by October. The right click, though, is good.
My ult's ready.
And Nick finding Kienz as well, putting this Vandal to work. Still fighting off the entire side of Eternal Reign on behalf of his team. Rewind is still getting picks from behind! The classic headshot going his way, and the 4K as well coming through for Nick 2K. Can we see an ace? I spoke a little too soon.
Covering it.
Rewind
Spike
now with
planted.
the Vandal in hand, grabbing a third elimination, and it's honestly, I think it's doable for Rewind. They're on the aggressive here. Bushi and
Rewind gonna get this
This is
ninja defuse,
DMG.
calling it.
yeah, no, BMG, DMG and Bushi, all the way in defender spawn. They actually barely have a sightline on the spike. At least from I can tell from the vision cone. If Rewind gets close enough, the up and down could spell his doom. DMG lands the shot before Bushi even has a chance to react. And the fourth round will go the way of Supernova. We're starting to have a tied up scoreline so far. I mean, ETR with a really strong start, but Supernova showing some resilience here.
Yeah, that was. I think this at this point in the game, Jan, is when you kind of start considering momentum. You saw what the first 4 or 5 rounds straight away from ETR, and now Supernova, they're kind of coming back. 4 on the round and 4 on the game. Sorry, and Nick 2K, he's been popping off 11 and 8 on the scoreboard right now.
This engagement from Slinko might be deadly for this attack. October seemingly throwing all caution to the wind, walking through lobby, popping the
He's gonna
drone.
hear that drone.
Slinko could capitalize here. Still, he doesn't know that October's alone.
Time to jump.
He will continue to look for things, look for any sort of engagement on too short. Slinko good with the body shots. A little bit shaky, but still grabbing the one. Now we're in a 4v5, and they seemingly just lose their Sova out of nowhere. Rewind with the early peek onto Krusty. The spam through the wall, though, forces him out of astral form before he could place a star. Using the cage to take some space. Krusty around this corner needs to be aware of this next game. In the meantime, finding Kentario, but the shot's going through, and Krusty still coming out on top. Kienzo in a position to play spoiler. Krusty able to walk through the garage door, and Nick 2K completing the dash on the site. The site is now theirs.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, here into the retake. 2
Last
points. Slinko
player
with a
standing.
flank. Gonna get 1. It's a good crossfire. Cypher shut down by Kians. A great shot out from him. And finally, a round back after the 4-win streak we saw from Supernova.
Nice reversal from ETR here. Kien's able to react just in time. Neural theft might have been a little overkill, but they were getting the kills while it was being channeled.
Absolutely. And the duelists from both teams have been really the highlight of this game. 12 and 7 for Slinko and 12 and 9 for Nick 2K. Definitely the playmakers for both of their teams.
Man, this match is This match is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we're going into another buy round. And I'm honestly I'm favoring the attackers again, regardless if they stop the momentum. You've got the breach ult and you've got the Sova ult. A huge site taker and a huge... Sorry, post plant ult. I mean, if they just hit a site with those two, I don't see a way Fnatic ETR could win this.
I was ready
No.
for you to say FNR again.
Guys, it's because they were FLC, and then my brain went, what teams do I know that start with an F?
Oh,
And then
so
it
you
was
said
that
FNR.
My
So okay. So the logic so what I'm gathering here is because FLC started with F and they changed to ETR. The FNR ends with R.
Yeah, no, it starts with F. See.
FNR ends with R and ETR ends with R and FLC start with F.
See, I put the two together. Anyway, this next round, finally a fast hit from the side of Supernova. They've already got that sight down. What's interesting though is they used the Sova ult for the take and are using the breach
about
ult
to
for
say,
this
yeah,
burst.
they did use the
surprise.
the Hunter's Fury early on. Slinko getting away with a criminal teleport in the back of the site. October and DMG though
Last
still looking
player
doable,
standing.
picking up one each. But now, you know, Bushi's all by himself in the garage. Dario will
Making
be
this look
isolated.
winnable.
Yeah, no, the spike is not planted in a very good spot for him to contest. What seems so doable, what seems so possible, after such a fast take, just completely slips under them.
Yeah, I think right now what we're seeing is a bit of a team diff, unfortunately. If you'll notice, like, let me break this down for you, Jan.
Okay.
ETR is doing these double swings. They're swinging with each other. They're playing with each other, and I don't think I've seen quite the same level of coordination out from Supernova. You know, Eternal Reign.
I don't want to say
the best team.
I don't want to say that they're depending too much on Nick. I don't think they are. I think Krusty's doing his job. Krusty's lurking.
Absolutely.
The rest of the team is taking space on a different area. Nick 2K is just fighting, you know? Nick 2K is doing what duelists are supposed to do. Get 3 and die.
Get 3 and die. Absolutely.
And I mean he has 12 eliminations and based on my logic, they've won 4 rounds and he has 12 eliminations, which means he has on average gotten 3 and died. So so based on this fact,
that's Eon math right there.
Based on this fact, I think that Nick 2K is performing individually well. Rusty, on the other hand, managing to make space, but at the same time, kind of losing out on a lot of 50-50s on the lurk. Nick 2K, as I say this though, taking the space, Bushi with the teleport, and they already have Seaside, but Kien's lining up the headshot. Incredible. Nick 2K, as soon as he lands, gets taken out, and the Hunter's Fury consumed from the defenders to try to stall out the plant. It's actually successful. DMG will not be committing to the spike plant, and they're in a 2v4 situation, so Bushi better hope that DMG's not planting, because they need to fight and even out the numbers.
I mean,
Still though, is forced to plant at the end of the day. He ends around this corner. Actually, did you see that? Did you see that? He ends lands a headshot onto DMG through the box and then lines up to pick Bushi. That's insane. I don't think that was intentional. I think that's just Valorant. I think that's just a Riot not knowing how to design recoil. But that was incredibly lucky from Kian.
Riot not knowing how to design recoil. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Eon just wants to play CS.
You know, and you know, Empty, a wise person once said, Empty, in Project A, shooting matters, and Kien's has made that very clear. Shooting does matter, because if you shoot in their general direction, you're gonna land the headshot.
Absolutely, and I think, again, it's the team diff narrative. You've got a couple people performing for the side of Eternal Rain. And for Supernova, I really just see Nick 2K. If they want to win this, we're gonna either have to see an even bigger step up from him, or an overall step up from the rest of the players. Now for
four
Nick, looking to make
players
that
on
happen with
this-
the Sheriff.
Yeah, A side. Nick 2K already through sewer. Rewind expecting.
Yikes.
Actually, he gets caught at just the right time. While
That's
recalling the star.
smokes.
Yeah, that smoke's gone for the attack. I don't know how.
Here.
I don't know how they're gonna go about their attack now, unless they find a pick, and use their utility to just completely overwhelm a lane on one side of the map.
You
They
see,
can't
Mr.
really
looking for
find
that.
anything.
Does he know?
Oh, it actually
I
lands on
think-
Bushi.
I think he might have saw like a pixel of a gun barrel there.
Little bit of chip damage onto this Omen. The flash coming through to into garage, allowing the space to be taken. At the forefront is Kien's, duelist at heart, already in the front line, making it all the way through C window, almost catching
my
Bushi.
God,
The shots don't quite go his way. And Mr. Nut, though, finally
enemy
finding
remaining.
one onto B, Krusty
Spike
with a
down, C.
swift peek through the Omen smoke. And the team is coming together, at least for this pistol round.
30
Slinko left all
seconds
alone with 125
left.
HP to his name. The headshot is good. But, I am guilty of saying this a lot. In the face of 3 players, how much more can you do? If you're Slinko, though,
But I
you
think he
might,
can do it all.
you might just be him if you're Slinko. You hit the headshot. Nick 2K almost isolated the Sheriff! Finally finding it.
Yeah.
His name, he could not get far, said Nick 2K.
Ask and you will receive. Nick 2K 2 on the round, and getting the smokes down early was so big for the side of Supernova.
For yes, exactly. That pick onto rewind turned the tides of that round so fast. I mean, naturally, the advantage didn't lie with any of the teams. But I mean, in an 8-4 scoreline, you need impact like that. You need frags like that. You need performance like that from Nick 2K, especially if you're enabling him this much.
Absolutely, and he's going to be going for the same play again. Outlaw in hand this time. Ready for the peaks, and I don't know if they're going to give it up.
Okay. Oh
my god!
Slinko, that jump peak was so scary, and I mean, you're gonna pay the price for it at some point, man.
Caught him by the tip of his elbow there.
That was beautiful. I can't, like, I don't know. I wouldn't be upset if I was Slinko. I would just be a little fascinated. Yeah.
Yeah, now they're gonna look for the speed hit, but it's gonna be so hard without your edge of Slinko.
Teleport coming through. Actually,
Just going for the
Bushi
retake.
is safe, and Krusty might actually find Kentario here, managing to sneak all the way through mid. All these players are now corralled on the side, and Mr. Nut with the drive-by onto Bushi, and it's all up to rewind. Can his classic right-click bail him out? Krusty, Krusty finding the first knife of the game. The melee duel was in his favor. Both guns were out of ammo, and they made sure to let us know by pulling their knives out.
Yeah, that was an interesting round to say the least. Bit of a knife fight there. Huh? Bit of a knife fight there. However, that's a lot of guns saved for the side of Supernova. I mean, they're going to be going into this round. They might be able to do some serious damage to Eternal Rain's economy.
Scanning ahead.
Again, Nick 2K, Outlaw in hand, slipping through sewer. Actually crouching, taking advantage of that elevation. They couldn't see him cross. Still though, they are quadruple holding this man. And the shot onto Kentario does land on his shoulder. But look at
position.
October all the way
clear.
up long. He does have a Guardian in hand though. You can't really pull that off into multiple players. I don't think any player has ever, gotten a multiple.
You don't know about the Guardian spray
Guardian.
transfer?
The Guardian spray transfer.
Spike planted. Last player
Rewind, looking
standing.
for the opportunity, and he's gonna seize both.
Okay, well, Kienz's lurk was perfectly timed there. because the rest of the team had already taken sight, and there was no way for the defenders to expect them to just jump into defender spawn.
Yeah,
Good
that
play
was.
from Rewind.
I honestly thought that October might be able to get like upwards of 3 there.
This is a nice spot.
But no, you're gonna see Mister just clearing him out.
This should do.
That's what we call the
That
super
goes
pick.
there. This goes here.
And it's a very interesting setup. Quick fight. E2K finding one on the Kians. And they're just gonna back off, taking the pick and getting out. A
That
thief in
was-
the night.
That was so fast. That was so fast. Blink, can you miss it? Kian's all the way all alone.
Caught one.
Rusty through the smoke. Might accomplish Linko here. The kill trip is good through the smoke. Cantario forced to plant. Now we're in a 5v3 situation in favor of the defenders for once. Mr. Nut though finding one, keeping it possible, and the fault line as well, keeping them at bay. The aftershock as well to guarantee them the space. Nick2K peeking already from heaven, knows that Mr. Nut is somewhere down long, and Mr. Nut is forced to hold and make sure no flank comes through. Rewind with the smoke now. Cantario falling to Nick2K, who's flying down from heaven. And Bushi finally finding Rewind, and it's all up to Mr. Nut, isolating one. October though with the headshot from the Odin, allowing the defuse to come through.
Yeah, some good trades. And just a solid retake overall. Guys, the spike is ticking. Okay. It had me nervous for a second there. No, but a very good retake. And I think was really off the first 2 plays. You saw Krusty getting that kill through the trip on a Slinko. And Nick2K with the nearly instant first pick.
Yeah, he just kind of barreled through grass, you know. Knowing Kienz has been lurking a lot of these rounds. It was definitely a great play. It was definitely a great play.
Yeah, now we're gonna see the timeout, and I think one maybe light diff you might have to, if I'm not mistaken. ETR actually have a coach, and Supernova do not. So these timeouts might be even more impactful than we see out from any Supernova timeouts.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Supernova did have a coach themselves, because the last time a timeout was called, it was not called by one of the players. I will admit I didn't look at who was in the lobby before we started, but no, I'm pretty sure Supernova do have the coach available. Like I said, I could be wrong.
Oh, well, I guess we'll see the results of either of those coaches.
Actually, you know what?
Next rounds.
Never mind.
Don't ever check empties facts.
I was wrong. I checked the chat on our Discord, the voice chat on our Discord, and ETR do indeed have coaching staff
Here.
as well.
Okay, well, again, it's another aggressive play from Nick2K. Trying to find key ends, not gonna confirm it though.
Okay,
and nothing's gonna be found.
Fault line good for the dash through the camera. Yes. Putting a sneaky cam in mid. Nick2K actually forced to run all the way back just to claim a rifle. Space made by Slinko towards short, actually finally walking through, making sure no utility has been placed. No tripwires will be found at this time, but Krusty has a different plan with these trips. So either way, he's not paranoid of anyone coming through sewer. He's got the camera for that. The rest, as far as the rest of ETR is concerned, though, they're just gonna walk all the way C. They heard the camera being popped a couple times. They don't really want to bother with A, and Mr. Nut's gonna be allowed to walk all the way mid. But Nick2K with such a switch. Again, this guy, like, I don't think
30 seconds left.
I mean, I will say it's not like, you know, it's not like I haven't seen Jets this aggressive before, but Nick2K so far one of the most aggressive I've seen. Immediately wide swinging everything, immediately in a position to pick up frags.
10
Slinko
seconds left.
will be found by October. Rewind now, forced to try to even out the numbers and thin them out for Cantario, and they get one each. October with a spam through the random headshot onto Rewind is found. And it's all up to Contario with the Rolling Thunder off of the tap. October will actually make sure to avoid it. Not quite in time though, managing to take cover inside the smoke and the spam. The stun finally working for once. Contario, in a very clear advantage, will be able to win out that round.
I have to give props to Contario there. The regen shield just saved his life, Jan. He got back up to 50 HP, down from the one tap Toyota, and once you saw October stunned, he just didn't have enough time before. Sorry, fumbling with the names right now. Before Contario confirmed the kill. Coming this next, you see the Astra ults and the Silva ults. However, Rewind can be lurking, trying to counter the C-push. Cypher Cam, spotted him.
Taking that back.
Okay, Bushi has been planted in a very forward corner. And that was the plan. Krusty was covering for him, even spamming, making sure that a decoy noise is made. Rewind does suspect something is there, and Nick 2K. Oh my god!
Spike down A.
2K. How do you get that? It
Nick
just
2K
walks all
true to
the
his
way
name.
down long. All the way down long, finding the collateral, the sheriff, and Mr. Nut getting caught by DMG with the sheriff as well. And now we just have two attackers alive with barely full health each.
Cage triggered.
And it's sheriffs. They have sheriffs empty.
I mean, and then again, we've seen Eternal Rain winning in these
30
situations.
seconds left.
Maybe not this dire. They will damn get their best shot. Now, Bushi in this corner.
Oh, remember what I said about Bushi? He was planted
Spike
down here.
planted.
Oh, he won't. Oh my.
Guys, what's happening?
Okay, well, I mean, the shot through the wall by October and
Nick 2K.
Yeah, Bushi was just waiting for Nick 2K to come on through. Got the last.
Came on, it's only two of them.
What?
No, nobody got that joke. Crazy.
What a play from Nick 2K. Why aren't they defusing the spike? I think
this cannot. They cannot be doing this level of disrespect. Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure they. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they were waiting for
Just
someone
signing
who has...
points there.
Yeah, exactly. Closer ult charge, and a flawless eco, it seems. And ETR, even though they are up 2, they are on the back foot this round. They're forced to save, and Supernova will celebrate with their strong weapons. And like you just can't you can't let Nick 2K get away with it. It's just not human, man.
Look at Cinco bouncing around. And the ult. He's gonna get all that space for them. The garage and C-split. Mr. Nut. But it's only classics here. And try and take the fight until October.
They
Spike
fall back
planted.
so incredibly far. Almost expecting Slinko to go for the play with the shorty. Rewind with the early peek. Trying to look for any. Cosmic Divide as well consumed. And they do have Mr. Nut's Hunter's Fury. But this defending side, it wants to take through Garage. The shot onto Mr. Nut is good. They weren't looking at Garage door. Slinko around this corner with a shorty,
Last
trying to
player
find one.
standing.
DMG in October though, picking up all eliminations. The cleanup by the Sova and the Breach, allowing them to get a 9th.
My ult's ready. Oh.
And I like the idea. I like the theory crafting in this eco. You know, like we're just gonna plant the spike, play for Sova ult. Unfortunately, Krusty with seemingly Krusty with the peek from Garage door, seemingly out of nowhere, throwing a monkey wrench into their operations.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want to see. Now a 10-9 scoreline. Honestly, I think I'm predicting OT here, Jan. These are two really evenly matched
OT, huh?
teams. Yeah.
Honestly, depending on the shot by Nick 2K, I could either agree or disagree with you.
Depending on the shot by Nick 2K.
Yeah, no, I genuinely think Nick 2K has been a deciding factor in a lot of these rounds. Like really, if you get a frag like that, you know, your team is gonna feel motivated to try to win even harder. Rewind already around this corner, Nick 2K. You are not serious. You're not serious, Nick 2K. What am I looking at? What am I looking at?
Knife him.
Oh! Okay.
Obscuring vision.
That is definitely something you don't expect from your upping jet. Okay. Alright, Rewind grabbing that elimination. Hilarious
I know
POV.
exactly where you
Hopefully we just saw that on stream.
Let's cleanse our
Oh
brains
my
after that
goodness.
one. Gonna be a 3v4 retake here.
Really, yes,
Spike
indeed.
planted.
And Krusty is so far away, so October and DMG have to sit around waiting for the bomb to make away slowly. And Mr. Nut, again, what is that? Getting away with the sloppiest peak I've ever seen. Now we're in a 2-on-4 all of a sudden.
Last
Rewind
player
around the corner, taking advantage of the aftershocks visuals, blocking Krusty's view. And DMG is well
I call
cleaned
you
up.
Chale because it means you.
And now the scoreline is 11-9. The operator will not be in play. Actually, no. Nick 2K will opt to spend the rest of his earnings on an operator on a bit of a gamble. And we're gonna head into a small technical pause before we continue this map. Wow. I'm so like amazed at what just happened.
Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make us free. My cup off and make them scream. Go pop off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long, nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no lettuce. I got style.
Alright, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Non-binary friends. We are seeing
Cover going out.
like, yeah, we were just recovering from a small clown fiesta in the previous round. But now we see Nick 2K seemingly spending all his earnings on this operator. A bit of a gamble on his part. Nearly getting away with that.
Look at this.
Kantario finding that elimination.
That's
October
so ridiculous.
finding that as well. Rewind with the angle onto Krusty. That's all the Cypher utility down. C is now open completely like a hot dog stand. And Slinko will be found by DMG, making sure to refrag, or making sure to secure the trade on his teammate. Rolling Thunder will come through the end with the cage, trying so hard to survive, and DMG running out of bullets. Rewind finding the third, and that was again yet another mouthful, or excuse me, yet another fiasco of a round.
Eon.
Okay.
Okay, clear
1
comms.
second, peeps. I gotta
Empty,
visit the
empty.
Astro to play some
Empty.
stars.
I would appreciate.
Anyway, Rewind. I mean, he's been going huge this game, stepping up toward the later half now.
Oh man, yes. Let's focus on that. Rewind's performance. Rewind finally finding his footing, performing for his team as he does best. And Nick 2K popping the Blade Storm, still though the judge in hand as an insurance policy, making sure not to give himself away too soon. And I think Rewind is a little bit like overheating just a little bit, you know, feeling the heat from the previous round, the flash coming through as well. That is beautiful for Bushi to capitalize. And then 12-9 scoreline, you can't really be doing that. You gotta be looking to seal it away here, to put the enemy team away. Kien's as well falling on the lurk, Bushi finding that as well. Nick 2K around this corner, making sure to continue to hold into
Last
sewer.
player standing.
And the Blade Storm good for both eliminations. Slinko can't quite catch Nick 2K.
Nick 2K finally back on the
Flawless
server. Haven't
round.
seen him these past few rounds. I just gotta say.
Yeah, no, Supernova finding the 10th. And yeah, Nick 2K, surprise, surprise, he didn't have the operator and he made a play.
Yeah, and this is... I think this might just be the deciding round. If you look on the eco of Eternal Reign, I mean... If they lose this, they're down to, what, Classics? Maybe a couple of Sheriffs? This is a must-win for them. And I think
Here.
that's what we're gonna see. Possibly Astro Wall committed.
Here.
Yeah, I think they end the game now, or they might not even get the chance to end it.
Absolutely.
Rolling
Rolling
Thunder
Thunder.
coming through finally for the attack. Doesn't catch onto any of the defenders, but at least guarantees them the space. Spam might need to come through from Nick 2K. The Hunter's Fury finally coming through from October. Finding
You want to
Kien's Nick
find it.
2K on the aggressive, picking up one more. Kantario picking up one, and Rewind with a second, a follow-up. And Bushi around this corner, whipping his shots, whipping his crosshair across his screen. And Rewind might not expect October
Back to
around
the
this
circus.
corner. And we are back to
Back to the circus.
we are back to our daily Sova 1v1. The drone coming through, Mr. Nut slipping the net ready
is
with the
also
Hunter's Fury in hand.
Revealing it.
Waiting for the
Oh, no.
recon to come through. He needs to put that away. He hears him run through garage. He might No! What the hell? October
Attackers win.
not able to jump up on the stairs. And Sova almost come through for Mr. Nut. And the
GG's.
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Nut, if I were you, I would also take myself out of the equation. What a clown fiesta of a game.
What a I would say just towards the end, a bit of a circus.
Oh man, that was definitely an interesting one of the maps of all time. No, I'm kidding. Great showing by both teams, especially Nick 2K nearly dropping a 30 bomb. Unfortunately, the rest of the team not able to quite follow up. And ETR will be taking the first W of the night. Empty will be leaving us for the remainder of the night, but we will be bringing the second map to you guys after a short break.
Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make this free. My cup off and make them scream. Go back off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long, nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no letters. I got style, don't catch no feelings. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look, look. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look, look. Look, look. Look, look. Look, look. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Watch me. Sit back. Sit back. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Put the work in. Hey, put the work in. Put the work in. Yeah. Told baby girl, she gotta do it with a purpose. Am I down about him every man? I heard that she a virgin. Sheesh. And I've been in the gym all week. Heavy bars, that's how I'ma drop the gems y'all need. I've been working on his body for the beach all winter. Yoga and Pilates, watch me keep my figure. Snap back like Beyonce, kill the beats like Jigga. Share the vision, but not everybody see my picture. Like the circle got smaller, but the dream got bigger. All those things that you said you didn't mean, I get it. Oh, you really wanna come back to the team? I'm listening. But life's different, and I'm richer. Made for this since birth. Yes, I know my worth. Go hard, put in the work. Cause I come first, and I ain't even need your help. I put the work in. Put the work in. Put the work in. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. I heard you looking for results. Put the work in. Yeah, you gon' have to put the work in. Immaculate flows, one verse to murder half of your bros. 16 bars, only need half of that for these. Built to the real Cause half the rappers you know, man, you gon' need exorcisms. I'm attacking they soul, whoa. Turn the studio into the conjuring. Vocal cords will hit you with hard waves like a tsunami hit. Play the game, you say my name, you roll the dice and watch the jungle come alive. Soon as you make a move on some Jumanji shit. Damn, everybody ain't built. If I blow up, it's Hiroshima. Everybody get killed, man. I'm detonating the Cold War. I'm making sure everybody get chills. Made for this since birth. Yes, I know my worth. Go hard, put in the work. Cause I come first, and I ain't even need your help. I put the work in. Better go off quick. Put the work in the zone, don't quit. Put the work in like you own that ish. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. I heard you looking for results. Put the work in. Yeah, you gon' have to put the work in. Put the work in. Put the work in. We gon' put it in. Put the work in. Every day. Yeah, every day, man. Every day. Put the work in. Gotta wait, man. Every day. Put the work in. What they gon' say, man? Every day. Put the work in. Every day. And I ain't even need your help. I put the work in. You better go off quick. You better go off quick. Put the work in the zone, don't quit. You in the zone, don't quit. Put the work in like you own that ish. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. You better go off quick. You better go off quick. You in the zone, don't quit. Put the work in like you own that ish. You gon' have to put the work in. Every day. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make this free. My cup off and make them scream. Go pop off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long. Nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no lettuce. I got style, don't catch no feelings. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look, look. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look, look. Look, look. Look, look. Look, look. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Watch me. Sit back. Sit back. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Put the work in. Hey, put the work in. Put the work in. Yeah. Told baby girl, hey girl, she gotta do it with a purpose. Had Madonna by the mirror, man. I heard that she a virgin. Sheesh. And I've been in the gym all week. Heavy bars, that's how I'ma drop the gems y'all need. I've been working on his body for the beach all winter. Yoga and Pilates, watch me keep my figure. Snap back like Beyonce, kill the beats like Jigga. Share the vision, but not everybody see my picture. Like the circle got smaller, but the dream got bigger. All those things that you said you didn't mean, I get it. Oh, you really wanna come back to the team? I'm listening. But life's different, and I'm richer. Made for this since birth. Yes, I know my worth. Go hard, put in the work, cause I come first, and I ain't even need your help. I put the work in. Put the work in. Put the work in. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. I heard you looking for results. Put the work in. Yeah, you gon' have to put the work in. Immaculate flows, one verse to murder half of your bros. 16 bars, only need half of that for these. Filter the real shit. Cause half the rappers you know, man, you gon' need exorcisms. I'm attacking they soul, whoa. Turn the studio into the Conjuring. Vocal cords will hit you with hard ways like a tsunami hit. Play the game, you say my name, you roll the dice and watch the jungle come alive. Soon as you make a move on some Jumanji shit. Damn, everybody ain't built. If I blow up, it's Hiroshima. Everybody get killed, man. I'm detonating the Cold War. I'm making sure everybody get chills. Made for this since birth. Yes, I know my worth. Go hard, put in the work, cause I come first, and I ain't even need your help. Put the work in. Better go off quick. Put the work in. You in the zone, don't quit. Put the work in like you own that ish. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. I heard you looking for results. Put the work in. Yeah, you gon' have to put the work in. Put the work in. Put the work in. We gon' put it in. Put the work in. Every day. Every day, man. Every day. Put the work in. Gotta wait, man. Every day. Put the work in. What they gon' say, man? Every day. Put the work in. Every day. And I ain't even need your help. Put the work in. You better go off quick. You better go off quick. Put the work in. You in the zone, don't quit. You in the zone, don't quit. Put the work in like you own that ish. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. You better go off quick. You better go off quick. You in the zone, don't quit. Put the work in like you own that ish. You gon' have to put the work in. Every day. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make this free. My cup off and make them scream. Go back off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. money long, nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no lettuce. I got style, don't catch no feelings. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am now joined here by Faust, my analytical casting desk companion. As we go into our second match between Eternal Rain and Supernova. Already, one thing I wanted to note is the Tejo pick, which, I mean, a lot of teams should be running Tejo at this point. Even though I noticed a lot of like channels are like, oh, why he's dominating the pro scene, why is it ruining the... I think that's a load of bull crap. There will always be an agent that takes over like every single game, every single meta. It's just that Tejo is the only agent that is meta defining that has carpet bombs. So I'm personally a big fan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I do not endorse the use of explosives in a violent manner. That being said, we do have quite the explosive team comp from Supernova, and Eternal Rain will be actually starting Kienz on the Fade, Cantario on the Breach once again. Seems that's a permanent role shift. Rewind on Omen instead of Clove, as he has previously played on this map before. And once again, Slinko on the Duelist. We do have the...
No charges.
I will say for like... In reference to previous Lotus games, I'm not sure what team it was, but we did mention how teams on this map would like struggle without a dive Duelist. I mean, especially into a more like a util light comp, but it seems that like based on what I'm seeing so far, a lot of these teams do have an abundance of utility, and I don't think that getting caught off guard by a raised or a neon would be of too much concern either way. Now, Eternal Rain is leaning towards this C side of the map. Kienz at the forefront. Again, a Duelist at heart, but, you know, showing us his flexibility, showing us that he can play different roles. And they actually do all that just to trigger the wall and bait Krusty into using a lot of their utility. The slip through B has now commenced. The door has been opened. They jump through. Nick 2K though, managing to catch Cantario as well as the spike. On the sideline. Rewind with 2, Slinko grabbing the spike and slipping away, but around this corner is Bushi. If they choose to take towards B, they're gonna have to deal with him. And a bit of trigger discipline shown, though only Rewind is the only one he'll find actually. They were probably just sending him to lurk over here.
I'm out of here.
Now we're in a 2v3 situation. The attackers are so dangerously low. Krusty finding Kienz. Slinko not able to plant the spike. Nick 2K will be finding that headshot.
Please stay
as well.
alive. I hate making new friends.
I think KJ had their turret in the wrong spot. If KJ put their turret top box, they completely countered that B push up by the defenders. But that's the risk when you're running KJ. Where do you put your utility, just to make sure that you're able to also get the lurk while also keeping the flank watch out. Something that Vice doesn't struggle with. So for the attackers now, just making sure you keep that KJ still in range of the utility so they don't get flanked like that again.
Yeah, cause like there's no way you could feasibly clear out a Vice wall if they have it set up for flank, you know. Either way you're triggering it. Either way you're like making your presence known. And again, we see this here. Linko forced to use movement to bait out the shear, making sure Krusty doesn't get value out of it. and the rest of the team is just making sure that Nick 2K isn't there to look for any space or any peek.
I'll find you. Still waiting.
Salvo consumed from the defense. DMG stalling it out towards the door. Still, the rest of Eternal Rain will funnel towards B. And the movement from Slinko is good, but DMG in October finding all the frags needed. Nick 2K finding the last. And that's all she wrote for that round. Not really much more you could do there, but just group up and roll out on a site. Lack of weaponry is holding you back. You might as well take the space, right?
Yeah, and you can see the amount of trust they had in the Vice setup as well. Krusty getting a lot of... I didn't get any help from the teammates. He was solo holding on that box for so long, and the rest of his team just stayed towards B and A. They trusted Krusty so much, and that's really important when you have a Vice. If you're able to hold towards that B for that late door hit.
Okay, interesting counter here from the side of Eternal Rain. The tether being thrown to catch Nick 2K. Follow-up will not come through until Kien's peeks Bushi. And Mr. Nut actually finding Krusty on the aggressive. And all that Vice utility is unfortunately going to lose its value towards C. Still though, do the attackers expect the defense to pop the door open and look for kills? Nick 2K finding one, but Mr. Nut with 3 and Slinko with the final. And that round was over before it started.
And yeah, the attack just fine towards A this time. They had a bit of weaponry. I think the really important thing is that Vice saw how far he could push up. KJ, yeah, good. Getting the punish on Vice there. But Vice also got a lot of info. If they're pushing towards A, they're going to be playing really passive towards C and B. So breaking this turret, creating pressure could be an important part of how the defenders play this. But now, kind of just looks like they're looking to pressure A again.
Almost like a 4v4 every single time. Rewind with the teleport, a bit overzealous. Nick 2K finding that headshot, popping the showstopper to guarantee the space, but the fault line will slow him down. Forced to send the rocket through to find no one. And now the rest of the attack is over here on the C side. Mr. Nut is the one looking for the space by himself so far. And with 1 minute and 5 seconds left, you really want to try to take your time here. Krusty being spotted rounding around the corner. Mr. Nut with the headshot. Through the wall though, not quite enough. Flash coming through for the CTR side. Bushi with the timing. Almost finding one. Will still be eliminated. Now we're in a 4v4 situation. Krusty still dangerously low. And DMG finding one onto Kien's. Cantario trying to find the refrag. Not quite successful for the time
30
being.
seconds
Slinko
left.
and Cantario will opt to move towards B. The Nano Swarm actually finding Krusty of all things. Slinko forced back by the Aftershock and the Stealth Drone coming through from DMG. Still not finding any information. No suppressions have come through. And we're still in a 3v3. Nick 2K could be a huge difference maker here, but Slinko will find that. And the last two players on this defending side are now taking through Heaven, October and DMG, trying to make space, trying to make sure trying to be absolutely sure that Slinko isn't nearby. They know that he could be near this secret, this breakable area, and the stun was perfect from Slinko. Mr. Nut holding his breath for just a moment, peeking at just the right time, and finding both those eliminations.
It was really well played by Mr. Nut, getting that lurk up B. I mean, that's the one thing that Vice doesn't have. You can't watch B and C at the same time. So if your A hold falls, then if people need to rotate back towards A, kind of rough for the people, for the Vice playing towards C. So maybe trying to take advantage of that, pressuring towards this A area and looking towards B, pushing towards there, and really baiting out this Vice utility.
Look at that, they've completely flipped the map. Krusty is all on his lonesome towards A. He might find this headshot, not quite though. The peek from Slinko will pretty much put him to bed. Now we're in a 5v4 and the ETR have all the space towards this A site. The spike needs to come through. Spike plant needs to come through, and DMG still has the Armageddon available to try to. I would say they could just use it to clear out tree, but at the same time, you know, they're on an eco. I don't think they want to waste too many resources. Still, the round win would be nice. Salvo coming through to guarantee them at least a little space. Nick2K getting caught by Kantari. Slinko around this corner, finding October inside the smoke, and Bushi and DMG alone in no man's land. But all they have is each other. And they both go away same way they arrived on site.
Yeah, it was a good read by the tech. It's just to not go into the C. They're running a trap play, but now it looks like they got the wrong read after going A few times. Crosby's been playing incredibly aggressive on this device. He's been picked off first or second a lot of these rounds. So
yeah,
now
you kind of wonder what's going on. Like he had a great start. He was holding his individual like sightline very well. But now that they realize this team seems to focus on C a lot, putting him on the other side of the map. Kien's finding two. Spray transfer going his way. Kentario finding one as well. I mean, so much going on. You can't even begin to describe the previous round, and something else interesting happens. Krusty around this corner. They might not account for him right away, but Kien's will find that before getting flashed. October is the last one standing. The spray onto Mr. Nut's good. Slinko and Mr. Nut could fall to a couple of body shots each, and that's all he needs. But all four of them, the quadruple face, spraying him down. The firing squad in Waterfall will put down October, stop any advance.
yeah, this is a pretty important round because they didn't even need to invest any ults there. I mean, I think they invested the fade ult and they got 3 ults back on the fade ult straight afterwards. But for the defenders, I wonder what they were running the trap play off, because it seems like they just weren't ready for the attackers to be up there. So maybe it was off wall tap or something. I'm not quite sure, but they just weren't ready for the attackers to be so far advanced before their trap play was even set.
And again, we see a start that is all too familiar for either side. We've got Nick2K here throwing the grenade with the fault line from the defense. Kien's and Co. advancing through rubble, rewind with the early teleport to at least guarantee the space. And again, it's yet again it's an eco from this. It's an eco from this defending side. Space will be given away so quickly. Rewind even finding yet another onto Nick2K. Does he know Bushi is behind though?
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Yes, he does. Krusty will be the last one standing once again. Go running through the door and finding the headshot. All this round for this attacking side. ETR will take 5.
Yeah, and it's just kind of aggressive, like with the Neon taking the space really fast. It's really getting in the way of Supernova. I mean, Supernova constantly they're trying to take space or set up a trap play, and they just don't expect the attackers to be up there. That's why you have the Vice. Run stuff off the Vice. Run trap plays off the Vice. But Krusty's just playing incredibly aggressive and getting picked off really early in the previous rounds.
It also doesn't help that FLC are just constantly like you did offhandedly mention it. You know, like the attackers are constantly in your face. It's hard. Like you need to plan for that in advance. You can't just depend on like the clock going down to a certain point where like, okay guys, I'm gonna do this and you're gonna do that.
Cover going out.
You need to act. You need to be able to adjust on a dime. And speaking of adjusting on a dime, all the Vice utility has been baited out. The Armageddon is huge. But look, like he's waiting to make sure none of these players are still in breakable. And the Armageddon to try to stop the plant, even though it comes through. Kentario will live. Kentario somehow lives that. And Kienz is alone. Even though Kienz is alone here on breakable, the KJ ult comes through. Kentario being found by the Salvo Rockets, but the Killjoy ultimate will not find its value. 5 players in front of Mr. Nut. Surely they hear him coming at this point. Yeah, finding all 4 players on site. Like, I mean, is it worth it? Small miss. Yeah.
3 kills is kind of crazy.
All these like plays, or not all these plays, like all these what's the word? The Killjoy ultimate, like its value was there. Like it was placed after he knew that the salvo was consumed. Still, he didn't have the bodies. He didn't have the numbers to pull it off. Even though he does get 3 kills, it's just a consolation prize. Speaking of making plays happen, though, Rewind finding Bushi, the teleport, outplaying him in a better position than him seemingly, and Krusty as well, losing out towards C. Mr. Nut will be picking up damage. DMG.
Spike planted.
But Nick2K will find the trade. Rewind still on the aggressive, heating up, picking up a second, and the third will be found. Body shot to close out a 6th round, and the momentum has not shifted. Like, even though it was interrupted, it has not quite shifted in Supernova's favor. I consider that to be 6 rounds in a row so far for this ETR side.
It's just, for Supernova, it just always seems like Krusty's getting picked off, Bushy's getting picked off. They're playing so far ahead and just never expecting anything out of the attackers. They're not letting the attackers to take it.
They're not letting Nick2K play. Like they're all trying to. I mean, like, see, like he did take a lot of damage, but he didn't find it. You know, like I don't know why Bushi and Krusty are trying so hard to like overheat when, I mean, you have a duelist, you have a duelist, you have a Teo, you have a Breach. Call plays with them if you want to make plays. Don't stop running in by yourselves. Now the attacker's shifting all the way towards A, knowing that one of their teammates has fallen. Rolling Thunder coming through, making sure no one's close by. Slinko will gladly take the space. DMG on the side, completely blinded, will almost eat another flash. And the showstopper is gone. The showstopper has been consumed way too early. Kian still has the Nightfall. And even though it's a 4v4, the attacker should like win this like very convincingly. Boombot has been consumed, no information found, door has been popped. Rolling Thunder popped from the defense. Slinko behind here with the Nightfall.
Ow.
The Nightfall and the Steel Garden and the Rolling Thunder popped at the same time, and Slinko just runs behind them with a shorty.
They invested 3 ults on the eco. The defenders, they invested the Raze ult, the Vice ult, and the Breach ult, and got nothing out of it.
Oh man.
That is a horrible round to lose.
It's not a
defenders.
It's not a good look, I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, you know, overcooked a little bit. Slinko could still run behind them. They had no sound. And what is that? Okay. At least Rewind doesn't get away with the teleport. Nick2K, I'm not sure what Nick2K was looking at. Genuinely, a lot of these rounds are confusing me. And yeah, Rewind even expressing said confusion. He teleported up against the wall, thinking he was through the doorway. He had no idea where he landed. That's 2 eliminations given away. Still, October is in a great position. He hears all these players come through to see. He could line them up and knock them down like bowling pins. Not quite finding the third. Still though, the damage has been done. The attacker is now on the back foot. They're not so incredibly low. Slinko though still good for 1.
30 seconds left.
finding it, and the Vice Flash coming through. They don't grab it. They don't get any information, so they're not really keen on peeking too early. Nano Swarm consumed by Mr. Nut to try to guarantee the space. Slinko with one with the overdrive, and Krusty finally coming through, picking up 2, closing out the round.
Last round.
It's really good stuff from Krusty. I know we've talked about him being aggressive and dying first, but look at what happens. You just keep alive. Play your life as Vice. You keep the information towards. You can get information towards B. You can be there to trade, right? You don't want those guys dying first. Next 2K dying first, getting traded. That's all good. Gets the trade and rewind. They have no smokes. They can't stop that ceiling fight. Can't stop fights towards C. This is what the defenders need to keep doing. Like you see, get Nick 2K into those fights.
Grenade. Initiated.
Now another lockdown has been consumed. Mr. Nut placing it in such a good spot. October doesn't have that aftershock available, and they did hear it get consumed. Good use of information to their advantage.
There.
Krusty avoiding the lockdown, but the rest of the attackers are still all on the site. Nick 2K finding one. Kien's with the trade, and the from the shadows consumed by Rewind to join his teammates on site. Kentario finding Bushi with the aftershock. Mr. Nut with one more onto Krusty. And there's 2 players left, and Rewind is already on it. Rewind hearing both of them, all these shots coming through, the reload coming through. October trying to be the courageous one, peeking through the smoke is Rewind though. Surprise! Smoke Criminal at work again.
Switching sides.
And he will secure the 8th round for each.
I mean, we could talk about Mr. Nut and Slinko, but this Rewind has been incredible, especially in those first picks towards A. That guy was getting space. Right? That guy was getting a lot of value towards multiple areas of the map, as much as Slinko and Mr. Nut have been getting. And closing out the round there, that just reflects how well he's been playing this map. But before the attackers now, defenders before, really need to see Big 2K getting into these advanced spots. You have so much util to just get you in. So not being afraid, getting into these fights, and really getting set up so we can have a safe post plant with a Teo util, Teo breach and Vice. So much util for that post plant. Just need to get into those positions.
All eyes on Nick 2K this half. He put up a stellar performance in the previous map. We really need to see him shine once again. A lot of the team's utility can make him go absolutely insane. And this attack strat is actually, I love this attack strat. They run through B, and then they just completely flip over to C. Nick 2K finding the one onto Slinko. Not really expecting so many players here. Still though, Rewind, Kienz, and Kentario all the way in the back. Mr. Nut though in water, finding Krusty, and the rest of these players need to collapse on him now. And the defuse is coming through from Kienz. DMG needs to stall it out, but Rewind with the cover. Finding a second, and finally Nick 2K will be the final one to contest. And such a great start, such a great beginning of the round, gone so wrong on account of the fact that they didn't really try to like take space site at all. They just planted for CT and hoped to hold it. But all of them just went to waterfall, and they weren't able to capitalize in time.
I mean, such an overextension from the attackers. The Supernova just taking so much of CT and just constantly fighting S5 towards the KJ. Just lost them the advantage they had towards side.
Rewind actually opting to pick up a rifle for a change into this round. Kienz and Slinko with a crossfire, catching Nick 2K. Kienz and Rewind combining for 2. October finding one himself, and the second. Rewind actually caught on at the tail end of the teleport animation. And all of a sudden we're in a 2v2 in this second round, this half. Kentario, around this corner, might not expect Krusty. But in reality, it was Krusty who did not expect him. Headshot will not come through. October, rifle in hand, thanks to Rewind, will scurry away with 72 health. Mr. Nut and Kentario making sure to lock down this B space. They don't really have an idea of where October could be. And he could use that to his advantage. to his advantage, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be too sure
30
of
seconds
going
left.
through a site and realizing that one unaccounted for player could just be sitting there. Still, with 20 seconds on the clock, he has to make a move. He has to try to plant the spike towards A, and Cantario is already on that.
Spike planted.
Fault line coming through, actually catching onto October, the flash behind him. The double flash, not quite landing in his face, and the fault line even coming through a bit too aggressive from October. I think he could have stayed up there and waited for Mr. Nut. Still though, forced to make a decision under pressure. And the 10th round will come through for ETR.
It's unfortunate because it looks so good at the start there, getting the rifle out of Rewind's unfortunate TP behind October. It was looking good at the start of that, really good eco, but just unlucky for Krusty not hitting that sheriff shot. Really could have won them the round. But now, it's another force coming out, and not as good as a buy coming out of the defenders. They did get a lot of guns out of them. So a potential upset, maybe getting this 5th round, and maybe getting that breach shot as well online.
Face taken towards A, an age-old tale. 4 players though is a little bit too much of an investment. Krusty clearing out the Killjoy turret, and that pretty much guarantees B. Except if you're playing against Cantario and Slinko, because they're on one and they're just gonna, you know, fight whenever they get the chance. Mr. Not alone on this side though, making a good go at it, finding 2 by himself. All the Killjoy utility has been consumed, as well as his life, but he still will find value. Still, the rest of Eternal Rain need to make their way to the site. Rolling Thunder queued from October to try to take space towards Waterfall. Bushi will find key ends. Now we're in a 3-on-3 situation. Rewind barely managing to escape the salvo that has been sent out with the Rolling Thunder. In space, even though the space is given away to the attack, it's still possible for Slinko and Co to find some picks going back into this. They will hear Slinko run around the corner, but DMG just has a stinger. How much more can you do? He will find Slinko of a well-timed peek. Stun will come through. Bushi will be catching Cantario from behind. Stop to Rewind with just the Guardian, and I mean, yeah, this is probably the right play. Just walk away, save that gun. You're not going to be able to take any close-range engagements. Even though the enemy does pick up guns, it's just 10-5. You have room to play right here.
Shadows traveling.
It's a good round there from the attackers, transferring that eco into 2 rifles now, and also a buy. It's really good from the attackers just to be able to fight individually, fight the individual players as a team. Really getting good picks and investing that breach ult to fight, the kind of the fight coming out from the potential B main push. Get that bomb down and just really solidly hold that post plant. That's
like
what you need out of the attackers. Get
Yeah.
that good post plant position and then just play it safe.
I like how they're not I like how they're like not waiting to like flip the map, you know? Like they just flip the map regardless of what happens. They don't find the pick, they don't need to find the pick, they don't need to find kills. They just completely like rug pull ETR no matter what. And Slinko with a criminally accurate shot
Strike down A.
despite sliding.
Last player standing.
Ends finding 2. And yeah, blink and you miss it, Faust. A 50 round for ATR off of such a convincing win previously for Supernova.
I mean, you talk about winning an eco and how good it was for the attackers before. That's how you win an eco, convincingly. Jesus, it was an absolute massacre towards A main. I'll be surprised if they try to take it again. Maybe they are. But no, it was just really good by Slinko to fight out into that, and then everyone collapsed onto the attackers and it really screwed them up. Just like they did it on their attack.
Here.
A Rewind taking a page out of Bushi's notebook, teleporting towards Rubble. Position is very good for him to have some sort of temporary cover. try to smoke for his team. Paranoia coming through, catching on to Bushi and DMG. What a play by Rewind! Around the corner is Nick2K almost finding the third. But Kentario will be getting that, getting one.
Where are you?
In exchange for Rewind's life. Now all of a sudden we're in a 4v2. 1 minute left on the clock. A lot of these lives are just being given away so quickly.
I'm out of here.
Krusty making
One
sure to
enemy
hold
remaining.
flank for just a moment. But Kentario and Kienz will be finding those last two. A flawless, or not a
Match
flawless
point.
round, but like another round win. The 12th point on the board for ATR. This is a much different. This is a much different look than the previous map where they were kind of struggling to make space, struggling to make plays, and now they just seem so. I mean,
This
No,
disrespect. Taking a timeout at 12 rounds up. Pure disrespect.
yeah, like ETR, you know, purely what's the word? Oh my god. ETR historically has been so comfortable on this map, and I think this roster has finally found the rhythm that they can stick to. Play very aggressive, take space early on, and even though Supernova is also like Supernova's attack is also just basically playing a huge game of Snake. You know, all five of them just kind of running in a straight line, like to different parts of the map, which is like it's cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. They just can't seem to pull it off at the end of the day.
I mean, this Neon comp is like really interrupting the flow of Nick2K. I mean, like you said, first map he was really dominant. He was playing really well, but it seems just like the defenders getting in their face, and on attack and defense getting in their face, really interrupting what they want to do. It's really gotten in the way of these setups from the attacking side.
Yeah, and they say Neon's a weak age. No, I'm kidding. I don't think she's weak per se. I think she's weaker. Still, Slinko putting on a show for stream.
Cover going out.
Now we finally get to see Nick2K being the playmaker he is, make space towards the C site. Showstopper popped. Still though, Mr. not having the foresight to just give away the space. Rewind finding Krusty on the lurk, and now we're in a 4v5 in favor of the defense. Paranoia coming through, not quite catching onto Mr. Nut, who will find the one. Nick2K finding the trade, and the Rolling Thunder now queued for Kentario, instead opting to probably use the fault line. Does he expect Nick2K around the corner, though? Slinko might find it. Yes, he will. The Nightfall finally coming through, and Slinko finding the final two in the series. And ETR will come out on top. They are your Group A upper bracket winners.
Really good from Isra. I mean, really well played. Dominant performance there. I think the main difference between ETR and Supernova is that ETR were really comfortable taking that space, whereas Supernova it seemed rushed, like they had to, and they didn't really get enough space other than just the things they rushed into. One thing to say, Nick2K, 6 first bloods, he was doing a lot on that first pick, but he just couldn't find anything else out of it. And Rewind as well was an incredibly first fragger, but you could see him in clutch moments and everything. He was getting frags, he was doing a lot for the team. Rewind was definitely the most valuable player, in my opinion, for Eternal Reign there, especially towards the A mount.
Yeah, it really does. It really did come down to comfort. On Haven, it took a little bit of time of ETR for ETR to find their footing, and then eventually, I mean, I'm not sure how much of that game you actually saw, but eventually they were just getting frags left and right, grabbing eliminations left and right, making plays left and right, and this is especially true on this map. I think that Empty mentioned it as well. Shout out Empty. Supernova has been giving them way too much respect. They're taking their time a little bit too much, and ETR have realized that very quickly, especially on this map. Once again, getting in their face, running behind them, making sure they literally don't have a chance to set up, and just completely deleting them one by one, just removing them removing them from any possible position they could be in. And I mean,
Yeah.
there were some fumbles here and there, but ultimately ETR, just playing some good Valorant, shooting their guns a little better than the enemy, and yeah, that's that.
Really well played. Good game. Good stuff before Eternal Reign. Can't wait to see you guys in the playoffs.
But yes, thank you very much for joining us, guys, for our Group A match. Unfortunately, our Group B match will not be broadcast due to Kaiju Gorillas having to drop out of the event. But we are incredibly excited to bring you the next matches. I believe they were tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so be sure to tune in to the Visualize channel tomorrow for our very exciting Group C and Group D matches. Till then, I have been Eon XZ, your host, with Faust and Empty, who had to dip. And once again, big shout out to Sora for hosting the event. And we will be seeing you tomorrow night.